Good evening, merry drinkers. Welcome back. We're on our hoppy travels today. You might be able to see just over my shoulder La Rocca and Cefalù Cathedral, which is just up on the top of the northern coast of Sicily, and got a little tale to tell about the local beer that you might find round here. So Sicily, classic beer you'll find is Birra Messina, which proudly states it's been brewing since 1923. Messina is a town which is over just right, just on the edge of the football, on the Italian toe of boot as it comes down and across. And another local beer is Birra Dello Stretto. The tale behind this one: the brewery was set up in 1923 by the Ferranda family and was successfully passed down generation to generation, and I think they got up to employed around 50 people in the plant in the city over on the west coast. In 1988 that was sold to Drea of Milan, and which quickly got absorbed into Heineken Italia. So the 1923 on the bottle, not telling too many fibs, but it's essentially been brewed by Heineken since the late 80s. Now, Big Beer, as they often do, decided to streamline the process, and they moved the brewing of the Messina beer into mainland Italy to one of the other Heineken plants. Now, there was an initial agreement that they would continue to use the Sicilian brewery for bottling and other bits and pieces of brewing, but eventually they tried to shut that down. The Ferranda family got back involved, managed to hold the horses off for sort of like 5 years, but then Heineken went full on and tried to close it completely. Obviously 50 odd people, 15 master brewers themselves, out of work and nowhere to go, so that the protests began. They used their severance pay to buy parts of the brewery and set about making their own beers, and so there, a proper local Sicilian beer brewed by Sicilians is this Birra Dello Stretto, which you'll find in a couple of the restaurants. The Birra Messina was €2 for that small bottle. Birra Dello Stretto was €2.50. It's 4.7 on the Heineken version, and it's 5% on the local version. So they've rebought all the package, and it's been a success. So much so, in 2019, Heineken came crawling back, and maybe in the UK you'll see the sea salt Messina in the blue bottles, Cristalli di Sale. That is a Heineken beer, but it is brewed under license in Messina by the traditional brewers that they tried to get rid of all that time ago. Not included that one in this. I'm going to use the two classics. It's a very nice beer. It probably sits in the middle of these two, but let's see what we got. So if we start with the old school original, this is the 1923 4.7. That forms it's a lovely golden colour in the setting of the Sicilian sun. There's a nice little foamy head which is just about sticking around. If you can see the carbonation, there's a fair bit in there flying up the glass. It's got a nice cereally sweetness on the nose, but not loads. Let's give the the Heineken Imposter a try. It's light, it's sweet, it's very sweet. It is refreshing. This is the rooftop of where we're staying. We're in the old town of Cefalù, and there's no lift, and to get up to here involves sort of 6 flights of stairs and a rather rickety staircase. I've been at the beach all day. I'm ready for a beer. This is tasty. But it's lacking. There's no bitter bite, which I really like with my lagers. I dare say that's due to a lack of hops in this product. Carbonation slightly burns on the tongue. It's alright. I think on the back, if you can make out, it's got water malt and hops. It's got something in there called Gran Turco. I don't know what that is. I'll have to examine and put up a little translation on the screen, so I'm not entirely sure what Gran Turco is. I don't think I fancy having this warm. It's alright, it could be anything that Heineken I make, I think. You'd never know it from the bottle label itself. It is really leaning in quite heavily to the history of the beer. 1923 is right up on the top. All of it is in the classic Messina branding, and you have to get right down into the small print on the back to see that it's made by Heineken Italia. Not saying they're being particularly dishonest, but if you were to pick that up and just have a little look at it, you would definitely think it is a Sicilian beer and not one that's made, at least it's made in mainland Italy, but that is essentially a Heineken. Initial carbonations wore off. To be brutally honest, I don't really like that. Right, so the master brewers, the 15 master brewers, have come back. They can't use Messina for legal reasons. That brand is owned by Heineken, so we have Birra Dello Stretto. Their 5% offering. I just noticed on the collar, I wonder if that is the 15 master brewers up on the top. Mastery Birra, I'm going to go with that, my rough pigeon Italian. It's a premium lager malt. On the back of this one we have water, malt and hops. That's it, 5%. An extra 50p. Let's have a look at this one. No, that's not as deep. Just stick the two. I think you can see the difference. The Heineken one is has a darker, almost richer colour to it compared to the local version. And you can tell it has gone fat very quickly. It's not a nucleated glass by any means. There's a lovely hoppy smell off this, really crisp bitterness. Slightly bready malt nose coming through it as well. Now this smells like a proper beer. Let's give this a try. Salute. This carbonation tap is not as pronounced. There's a lovely mouthfeel, there's a lovely richness, lovely sensation in the mouth for a lager. It's got like an ale type quality to it. It's sweet, but then you get bready cereal malts. They take over, and there's a lovely lingering flavour of that in your mouth. And on the swallow, there's a cracking, really nice hoppy, bitter edge to it. Had a choice between the two. I'm not massive on lager. I would drink this over the Messina all day. Even Vicky Cam is a fan. Yep, lovely gentle carbonation. It's really refreshing. There's a richness you don't get to the other one, so you're not going to drink it as quick, but it's delicious. And I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall when Heineken came back in and asked if they wouldn't mind brewing a new launched Messina beer for them. You do see it quite a lot on the island. I know the Sicilians are particularly proud. You will see the blue bottles of the salted Messina. It's very rare that you'll see the yellow ones. In the occasional bar you'll come across them. But if you get between the two great lagers out of Messina, no, I'd leave that one to the side. Get that one in your belly. Birra Dello Stretto, hands down winner. We'll be hopping travelling in Cefalù around another couple of cities. The craft beer game here is excellent. The island is covered in sunshine, volcanic rock, and the produce is top notch. That's to come soon. This will probably just slightly beat it out. But to Sicily, salute.